Whenever I talk about investing units, one of the most popular questions that I get asked by a lot is about unit trust fees. If you have ever considered to invest in a unit trust fund, you may have realized that there are all types of fees. You get management fees, you get custodian fees, you get trustee fees, you get front-end fees, you get early redemption fees, and this can be not only confusing for a beginning investor but even for a seasoned investor. These fees can be confusing, but fear not, by the end of this video you are going to learn everything that you need to know about different fees that are applicable in unit trust funds in Sri Lanka. Before getting started, this video is sponsored by Capital Alliance Limited, one of the leading investment banks in Sri Lanka. CAL offers so many investment opportunities for individuals like you and me, as well as for corporate and institutional investors. And also CAL has a range of unit trust funds and I invest with them on a regular basis. Now, if you haven't watched the other videos in this series, make sure to check them out. In the first video, I shared what a unit trust is and how you can get started. And in the second video, I shared all the different fund types that are available in Sri Lanka. And in the third video, I shared 7 benefits of investing in unit trust funds in Sri Lanka. So if you haven't checked them out already, make sure to watch them. I'll add the links in the description below. Now let's learn about different unit trust fees in Sri Lanka. Now, before learning about different fees, you need to know where you can find these fees. Every fund in Sri Lanka has a thing called an explanatory memorandum as well as a fund fact sheet. Now, this fund fact sheet is a compact and illustrative document where you can learn different things about a certain fund. Basically, a fund fact sheet is a snapshot of a fund. In a fund fact sheet, you can find information like what type of a fund is it, how has the fund performed over the past years, what are the instruments that the fund has invested, what are the different types of ratings that these instruments has received, as well as you will find a list of fees that are applicable to each fund. Most fund management companies, they share their fund fact sheets on their website. Now, if you take CAL Income Fund as an example, you can find the fund fact sheet on the CAL website. You can easily download it and you can learn more about the CAL Income Fund. Alright, now you know where you can find different fees that are applicable to each fund. Keep in mind that the fees will differ from one fund to another, as well as from one fund management company to another fund management company. Having said that, let's learn some of the most generally applicable fees in Sri Lanka. The first fee is called the management fee. This is very obvious. This is the fee that the management company, the fund management company, charges for managing the fund. Second, we have the custodian fee. Now, if you watched the first video in this series, you should know by now who a custodian is. I'll give you a bit of a refresher. A custodian is usually a bank that is independent from the fund management company, and their job is to safeguard and hold the different instruments, investment instruments that the fund has invested. So for that, they are charging a fee, and this is called the custodian fee. Next, we have the trustee fee. Again, if you watched the first video in this series, you should know by now who a trustee is. Trustee is also usually a bank that is independent from the fund management company, and their job is to do due diligence as to how the fund is run, and also their job is to make sure that the interests of the unit holders or the investors are protected, and for this they charge a particular fee, and this is called a trustee fee. Right, so if you want to learn more about a custodian as well as a trustee and all the different parties that are involved in a unit trust fund, make sure to check out the first video in this series. Click the YouTube card above, or else I'll add the link in the description below. The next fee is called front-end fee. This is not very popular in Sri Lanka, but certain funds tend to charge a fee when you are joining for a fund, and this is called the front-end fee. The next type of fee is called a back-end fee, sometimes known as an exit fee. This is charged when you withdraw or you redeem your money, or when you exit a fund. Certain funds tend to charge a fee, and this is called a back-end fee or an exit fee. Then we have switching fees. What are switching fees? Imagine you are trying to transfer money from one fund to another fund. Then certain funds tend to charge a switching fee. The last type of fees is called early redemption fees. Most equity funds or most funds that invest in the stock market, they tend to charge an early redemption fee. Certain funds, they want you to keep the money for a certain period of time before withdrawing or redeeming your money. And if you want to do that before the end of that period, these funds will charge a redemption fee. This is what's known as an early redemption fee. Right, so those are some of the fees that are applicable to unit trust funds in Sri Lanka. Keep in mind that these fees may not necessarily be applicable to every fund. It might or might not be applicable to the fund you choose. I recommend you to check out the explanatory memorandum as well as the fund fact sheet to learn more about different fees that are applicable to each fund. Right, so before wrapping up the video, there's one more important thing that you need to know about unit trust fees. When Sri Lankan fund management companies share the return of these funds, they usually share the net return of fixed income funds after deducting the management fees as well as any other fixed fees. What does this mean? When a fund management company publishes saying that the annual return was 8% or the annual return was 10%, what they do is they deduct all the management fees as well as any other fixed fees and they share the net return. Now, does that mean that you don't pay any fees? Not really. As a collective, you have already paid the management fees as well as any other fixed fee. So don't get confused by this. You still have to pay all those fees. It's just that you pay it as a collective, and when the fund management company shares their return, they share the net return after deducting all those management fees as well as fixed fees. Now, keep in mind that this depends on the fund that you have invested as well as the different investment decisions that you have made. Imagine, for an example, you have invested in a fund where there is an early redemption fee or where there is a switching fee, then your return can be different based on the different investment decisions you make. Nevertheless, make sure to select a fund with lower fees. You can obviously compare fees among different funds as well as fund management companies. That's what I would recommend you to do. Right, so that's the end of this video. I hope you have a clear idea about the different types of fees that are applicable to unit trust funds in Sri Lanka. Keep in mind that the fees differs from one fund to another as well as from one fund management to another fund management company. So before selecting, make sure to check out the explanatory memorandum as well as the fund fact sheet to learn more about different fees that are applicable to the fund that you select. Right, now if you are thinking, Nishan, I need to get started immediately, I want to start investing in units, make sure to check out CAL website. They have a range of unit trust funds and I invest with them on a monthly basis. Now getting started with CAL is super simple. The registration process is completely online. All you have to do is visit their website and sign up for an account at the CAL portal, and once you do that, you can immediately start investing. So check out CAL website and I'll add the link in the description below for you to sign up. And until my next video, happy investing.